Hey guys, it's me, John. And this is kind of like a small video that, you know, um, I don't know if it will help you or not. It's a little look into my inside, or inside look at my life now and what's going on and what may be happening in the future and all that stuff. I know you may have selectively run across some of my content creations, whatever, some comments I may have left on some of your works, whatever, and you think you have some uh, understanding of who I am, whether it be bad or good or whatever. I thought it would be fair, or, just something I wanted to make today as kind of insight into the path of an artist in America and why I do a lot of the things that I do now for the arts and for people. First of all, let me say that anything I say or reference in this video is not to shame and or impart any kind of obligation on fellow artists or anything like that to do anything. I know we all got our own message and we all got our own ways of pursuing things that we feel are best at the time. Me, myself, I think that, how I pursue things overtly and very in your face and very dark comedy and smart ass humor and all that stuff is the way I personally feel we have to handle things. I think too many people right now are afraid to speak about simple things, meaning in a world of people who are offended by everything, what truly can we talk about for real and without fear anymore? In a lot of ways, I don't think America needed a tyrannical dictatorship to take away the base freedoms of every American. We just needed triggered people and SJWs and psychotic feminists and right wingers and all this shit. The middle ground in America is disappearing, and that is the danger, and that is the thing I've tried to do with my works over the years. And the older I'm getting, the more apparent it's getting of just how bad things have gotten, especially with my content, because my content is very unapologetic, in your face, and I just kind of, at this point in my life, I really don't give a fuck what people think of me or what people want to say. Some people I do, take their words to heart, but in the same turn, it's like I cannot put myself in a servitude of the soul and mind and everything else just to keep quiet and keep things okay. To me, that is the equivalent of asking a battered woman who is the wife of a preacher in the community to keep quiet because she's going to rock the boat and make things harder on everybody else. And that kind of is what we're in right now, right? That we don't have discussions, we don't have hard discussions, we don't talk about race and everything else because it's fucking hard, right? And the more I look at American society, the more I realize that everything is fucking, lazy people wanting to get the fuck away from work, in conversation, relationships, and everything else. And a lot of the good people, a lot of the hardworking people are being pushed to the side and abused, whether that be by personal friends or whether that be by family or whether that be by whatever. And that goes into kind of, the further point of who I am. Some people have said or claimed that I claim to be a mastermind of whatever. I never said that. I never claimed to be a mastermind of anything. Usually I'm the first one to tell you that I'm not that great of a person. I'm not that great of a whatever. I always see that we could be doing better. I always see myself as being able to do better and better and better. I mean, if I got success tomorrow, trust me, I would want to top it within the first 10 minutes of having it. If I want, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, that's the constant pursuit of my life. That's the thing that keeps me fresh and keeps me alive and keeps me going, is the next challenge, the next thing to conquer, the next mountain to climb. And that's just kind of how I was raised, with all the hardships and everything in my own family. I guess I kind of got like a fucking fetish for it, if you will. A fetish for taking on the impossible and the things that they said could not be done. There's a favorite quote of mine, and I don't know who the person is exactly that said it, but it's been kind of used by me time and time again. But it's like, roughly, you see the world as it is and ask why, and I see the world as I dream of the world as it never was and ask why not. And I think that's another question that's not being asked enough every day, because people are always there to say, why? Why are you doing this, John? Why are you doing this with your works? Or why are you doing this? Or why? I think I embolden everybody else around me, if you're watching this, to start asking people why not. Challenge them on their stupid shit. Challenge them on the fact that they are limited in vision, scope, and everything else with their life. Because these people are allowed to hide, prosper, and propagate nowadays. And especially online, especially on Facebook, on media, these people are allowed to feed each other's egos and maniacal thoughts and all that shit. And they bring that out into the real world, where we have to deal with it as responsible adults who are actually keeping society moving. We have to deal with all this bullshit we have online. Now, don't get me wrong, there's people online who are very nice to interact with, who understand the measure of their words and the measure of what they do. And make no mistake, I understand the measure of everything I do too. Every decision I ever do comes with a lot of thought and a lot of consideration. Although I can make things quickly and I could think very fast and I could think very efficiently, does not mean that I am not putting thought into it. It just means that I'm that experienced. I'm that knowledgeable. I'm that wise about certain things, where I know that this is what I got to do right now. I let my gut instinct carry me through a lot more things now, because I've realized over the last 2 years of my life, with the struggles and the pains and the bullshit and everything I've been through, that my gut instinct is the best weapon I have. My brains are the best weapon I have. Education has gotten killed in this country. I've mentioned this before, and that's intentional. Because the dumber we are, the more triggered and idiotic you are, the more you serve the agenda of the oppressor. Meaning, the less you're going to ask questions, the less you're going to know about your democracy, the less you're going to know about everything else. John Leguizamo has a special on Netflix right now, and I highly recommend everybody fucking watch it. I think it's called Latin History for Morons. The first 30 minutes of it was transformative, to say the least. It is a fucking masterpiece of knowledge and humor, comedy, and everything else, and just raw emotion. John Leguizamo, I followed his work through various things over the years. He's become one of my favorite actors just because he's done so many fucking projects where he was just awesome. And albeit, even the Spawn movie where he played Violator, looking back on Violator now and what he did with Violator, it was actually kind of fucking brilliant. But anyways, that's beside the point. The point is, sometimes, people are, easy and quick to find things that you do, cheap and petty people, to crucify you. And that's where we got a lot of trolls and idiots online who are waiting for the next moment to try to attack greatness and or good people or whatever. Me personally, I take the measure of how many people attack me as how good I'm doing with my own personal views. Because the more people willing to sign up and attack me, the more I must be getting to someone somewhere, right? And that's just kind of like with the Sarah D's thing and this artist trying to make a living creating art group. The very fact alone of how these people reacted within the first 48 hours showed me I was doing everything right that I needed to do. Because they demonized me, they put me out there, they said whatever, and really at the end of the day, any personal cost that came from that was none. Like, there was no personal cost. Actually, as a matter of fact, it emboldened me to the point where people around me said they know me and they're okay with what I'm doing and they believe in my content and they know who I am as a person, which that was all I ever wanted anyways, was just people to acknowledge that, they know me and they understand me. Because as a white guy that looks like this, trust me, their privilege does not exist for me. I understand that there's white privilege, don't get me wrong. But there's an understanding you must have that not every white person wakes up every day and has a bag of money handed to them. I have to work hard for what I'm doing. Truth be told, I've said this before and no offense, but there's a lot of black male privilege we don't talk about, or ethnic privilege. Like, there's a lot of white women right now that will fuck a black dude, any black dude, if you just give him a black dude, just because he's black. Now, that being said, I think it's time you get aware about the fact that if somebody loves you for just one thing, it's just the same as them hating you for just one thing. Meaning, A white woman who's willing to fuck every black guy and do anything for every black guy and do whatever doesn't love you. They don't give a fuck about you. It's your race. It's still a mutation and permutation of your fucking of racism. It's just on the other spectrum. Like, if a company hires you just to get more black women, black men in their company, doesn't mean they give a fuck about you. It just means that they're trying to use your race to benefit their cause. That's all it is. And with my current work experience or my current position where I hold, whatever at this company, that may have been the case. I don't think so, but that may have been the case. Just to have a white male in a position so nobody can claim discrimination or whatever. And that wasn't the case. I mean, trust me. The person who hired me is a very great woman, a very strong woman, and honestly, without her being here right now, I don't know if I would have been able to make it through the last, 6 months of my life. I owe her a lot. And with that being said, there's some changes I have to make mentally and physically that have become aware in the last, week or so of my life. And, I'm growing every day. And I'm getting stronger every day. And that only comes with honesty and reconciliation as to, everyone else and what you are as a person. I had a lot of severe mental issues that were holding me down and holding me back from doing my art and my message and everything else I was planning on doing. And that really, fucked me up over the last 2 years of my life. So much so to where literally I was about to be homeless and out on the streets or dead or something else. And, and that goes to anybody in my news feed or anybody who ever watches this content, man. If you ever need to talk to somebody, feel free to reach out to me, dude. I'm always available at some point in time during the day to talk to someone, albeit for, a couple minutes, whatever, because I know what it's like to be completely fucking alone. And that's another reason why I fight for the rights of, human beings everywhere, because and everything I can do and whenever I get the chance, because I know what it's like to literally be without anyone, without family, friends, everything, completely, utterly alone. Some people think they know what that's like nowadays. They're living in a dream and they're using that as some kind of thing because they have support, they have family, they have friends, but to completely be isolated, to completely be just dead to the world. And that's why in a lot of ways I feel like a ghost, because I feel like I did die. Like I literally did all but die physically. And, that's just it. But to let you know where I'm at right now with my life, it's a very hard struggle day to day to put food on the table. Bills, I'm not making enough money at my day job. I'm not making any money for my art at the moment. None of my content on YouTube or anywhere is monetized and or getting money. I don't plan on monetizing my content on YouTube because monetization is basically opens up a door for corporate censorship. And I'm not going to do that. My YouTube, I will stand by until they force me to put ads on some kind of content or something. My YouTube, my everything, all my creations through those video works will be monetarily, devoid. Like, I won't get any physical compensation off of that. And any compensation I do get, I plan on building, a better world with it, because I can't take it with me when I die. And when am I going to die? I have no fucking clue. But right now, day-to-day life is a struggle. I don't have a car to drive back and forth to work. I've been depending on rides from, friends, but more times than not, that doesn't fit with their schedule, and it's more responsible to walk and put the pressure on myself to have that responsibility, which is good for my health and good for other things. And honestly, I'm healthier and better than ever as far as I'm concerned. And I know I smoke a lot, and people are like, well, damn, you smoke a lot. Well, damn, I work a lot too. So it kind of balances out. And that's what I'm saying. Like, people don't understand what it's like to be an artist, and then they don't understand what it's like to be an artist in a system that doesn't reward you for honest, hard days' works. There is a lot of wage gaps right now that, especially here in North Carolina, things are getting worse and worse as far as the wage gaps, because cigarette prices, things like that. We're paying $5, $6 a pack, per pack of cigarettes, but we're still getting paid minimum wage in most places. We're still not getting paid, what we do as far as work for these corporations. Corporations like Walmart, Walgreens, Dollar General, retail places, McDonald's, Hardee's, all those places pull in billions of dollars, billions if not trillions of dollars per year in capital income, and none of that is given back to the workers who turn the wheels on the machine. That is an issue that's going to happen in America eventually, where workers are going to rise up and walk out. They're going to walk away from the machines, and that's the best method of rebellion you could do, is walk away from the machines for 1-2 days. Every day you're away from the machines is a day that they're going to have to fucking sit there and be powerless. If everybody in America could do that tomorrow, the shit would change in a month, I guarantee you. Because it's like, you don't understand your value to the company, because they've done everything psychologically and everything in their power to manipulate you, to make you feel helpless and powerless and everything like that, when you have all the power in your hands to strike back. And hopefully with the breath of my works, that's at the end of the day, when I die, that's what my life is going to be, is someone who emboldened and empowered other people rather than himself, who shared the wealth, who shared my empire and my successes with everybody around me to make everybody's dream happen. I just want to take care of everyone, man. I love everybody. But in the same turn, there's a lot of mental stains and scars that I don't think I can fix. And that's simply because every road I turn down, it seems sometimes, is just an empty fucking path of broken promises and goddamn no way I can get ahead. And you know, me personally, I think that's where I became suicidal 2 years ago, which I've made videos about that I got to post up to the channel because I switched accounts, and I still got all the videos. It's just I haven't re-uploaded them yet. But I think it's important to say that you know, that's where I think you know, in reflection and introspection, I think that's where I found I became completely devoid of life and wanting to live and wanting to kill myself, because everything the American corporations ever gave me was nothing but give us everything, give us your day-to-day life, give us, take time away from your family, friends, everything else to come in here, and we're going to give you pennies when we're making, mountains of money. And, right now in America and the world in general, the wealth, everything is being consolidated, man. It's all being locked up. And, it will come to a head here in the next, couple of years. And after especially what some people have done and elected to the White House now, which is a very dangerous regime, just in the fact alone that it showed the world we're willing to put someone like this in the White House, which shows that Americans can't be trusted with their own democracy anymore, which means, theoretically, the world is planning on taking us out. Because we cannot be allowed to put people like him in charge ever again. And whether you want to accept that or not, that's irrelevant. Oftentimes the people at the bottom of the fucking totem pole, like the citizens of a country, will not understand or will not, fully get when their empire falls to pieces and is burning in rubble. And that is the nightmare we all have to be aware of right now, and we all have to get ready for, because it's fucking happening. And whether you want to acknowledge that or not, or whether you want to say, oh, that's happening on your Twitter feed or your little fucking Facebook feed, it doesn't fucking matter, dude. Shit like that's going to happen regardless. And I'm keeping things together right now, and I got plans, but it's going to take a lot of hard work and a lot of support and a lot of social media support for me to make my life happen. And I plan on trying to generate that. So, and that's okay. I'm a hard worker. I'm a person who works rather than sits there and bitches and moans. And I don't believe in holding what I do over other people's heads. And just as a proof example, this is nothing toward the young woman or her campaign, but I tried to share a campaign for a friend of mine, Emmett Art, who's trying to get support for her works. Last week, I got paid $150 for a week's worth of work. Okay? That's how little I make sometimes. Despite bills and everything else, I paid my bills, I did what I had to do, and then I took $30 of that and gave that to her. Now, if I can sit there and do that, and I can contribute because I believe in her cause and her mission, I think you can too. So hopefully you guys will look up her campaign and support her and her live streams and everything else she's doing, because she's a beautiful young woman who's very talented and very philanthropic. She needs to be supported. Don't worry about me. You know, I'm just some crazy white guy on the internet. But this young woman is a beautiful spirit and soul, and she needs help. So, put your money where your mouth is. Go help her. Make a change. Show rather than say what you mean. Okay? So, I'll talk to you guys later. I got work to do. I hope you guys have a good day. I love you. Daddy kisses you. Come here. Let me, come here, little guy. Come here, little fella. Hey, who's my little guy? Who's my little guy? Come here. Are you less stupid now? Are you less stupid? Daddy loves you. Let me, hey, I blew on your belly. I blew on your belly. Is that sexual? Is that weird? Is this too close? Am I too close to your fucking face right now? I'll see you guys later.